Guys, today we're going to be working on the Honda Civic 2000 EX, so the D16Y8 version, and we're going to put a muffler on it. So we're going to get this piece out and re-weld it. I do have an extra stock muffler, so I could cut that one. So let's say if I don't like this can, I could just swap it out for the original one. But let me go show you the other one I got. So here's a stock muffler from I got from online. That's why I got so cheap, because it has a hole in it. So yeah, that's how it looks right there. So for this one, it's an N1 type style muffler, but it's a universal fit. So I'm gonna have to cut it at a certain point, like right here. I'm gonna have to re-weld those holes, block them up, and finally like put this can over. But I got this extra pipe just in case if I need that. So this is what I'm using: 2-inch resonator. Supposedly resonator, but straight pipe. So for the outlet on this one, it should be exactly 4 inches. Now for the back, I know Hondas run, I think, 2 inches and a quarter. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong on that. So yeah, 2 inches and a quarter. So, but for the can. Now let's say, I'm assuming this one's a little bit bigger, smaller. It's gonna be smaller. So if I try to measure like this, it's actually 1.5 inches for this part. We got a resonator piece. It's gonna go in just like that. Just a little budge. Now this piece, I'm gonna have to cut it at some point right here since it's like thinner, and put it through here. So it's probably gonna be looking like this, just like that. Then it's probably gonna match up with the hangers, like from, I'll say from there. So it almost kind of, it's more in. So from there, then I just put that little resonator part over it. But let's get to lifting up the car. Then we're gonna start lifting the car. Make sure you chuck your front wheels, because unless you have it on gear, which I don't, but I'm gonna just put the chuck in, because you are gonna lift the back, which has emergency brakes, and where you want to lift it is through that hook right here. Right there, and then you're free to lift. So let's lift it up, and I'm going to take off that passenger side rear wheel, that way I can have access to the bolts over there. I already have the car up. It's on jacks on both sides too. I didn't get to show or show how it sounds like with the stock exhaust. So I'm gonna explain what I have right now. So going under the car, I do have bag, but I do have headers. I'm not too sure what brand I got them. I have a test pipe. It's just the pipe, so it's catless. And from there, before the muffler shop, when they put a catalytic converter for the recent owners, they didn't put no flange, so like you can't even bolt or anything. So that's stock right here. Back to fisheye. All this is stock, and it goes back to the flanges, the connectors. Then from there, the tailpipe, as you already guessed it, it has a muffler tip, which I did that myself. I'm not proud of the welds, but this is like almost like my first welds I ever did. And I'm gonna show you how it sounds. So that was a little taste on how it sounds like. To me, I feel like it's really quiet. The intake does give it some sound, like intake sounds, but I do want a little bit louder, and I know that say fart can because I'm not even too sure how it's gonna sound like. It's gonna sound nice or a fart can. But let's get to taking off that regular muffler off. Oh, I'm gonna take off the wheel as well, so I can get to the other side. I'll show you. So let's take it off. Now that we have the wheel off, you can see the drum brake. Now we can also see the muffler itself. And going on to here, we have access to the bolts and the nuts. So I'm sure this one for me is a 12, and this one might be a 15 or 14. Give it a try right now. Yeah, so this is how it is. So it's a 12 and a 15. So let me get my ratchet and start unbolting these. All right, now that you have them off, just put the nut with the stud, well, together, and you won't lose them. Now the next part is taking off the hangers. So I'm gonna take them off from here, and that's gonna be a beat to take off. Unless you're gonna have a specialized tool for the. Now we got it off. Let's go take it to the back. Get this bastard. Just cooking up some bags, and you get all that smell coming in the cabin. Yeah, those are my first welds I ever did. I'm not happy. And don't forget, don't lose your donut flange, your gasket. I don't know what they're just called gasket. I call them donut gaskets because that's what they look like. So we're gonna put them together, see what's the difference. Hopefully they're the same thing, because the guy said it's for my car. But let's see. I mean, you can already tell they look different from the top. I think this pipe is actually thicker than that one over there. So this might be for a I'm gonna say a 95 Civic. But we're gonna measure it right now. So this is the measurements from the, I guess the 95 you could say, or for the non-Vtec model. So probably from here we got 16 inches, 15 and a half. Now with this one, push all the way back right here, so we got 17 inches. So hopefully the gasket, that's another thing right here, I can measure it or I could just slap it on, but you already know what I'm gonna do, just slap it on there. So we're gonna cut from, that's a good question where I'm gonna cut from. So, oh, so we could just probably put this part onto the car, hang it up since it already has the hangers, and see how far we're gonna cut this part, and then how we're gonna cut this. So let's start getting this piece over to the car. Just to give you guys an example of how much it weighs, we're gonna start off with this one. So this one only weighs, so 6.5. So I'll probably give it 1 more pound. So it's probably gonna weigh like 7 pounds after installing these 2 parts. Now, the stock one. Okay, lucky 16, well 15 and a half. That's how much it weighs, which. All right, so we got the hangers on, the plastics. They're harder than I thought because they have that lobe right here. Now these, you just, that's all you do. Gonna be the loudest Civic in the block. All right, let's start getting this thing onto the car. So I did came to a problem. So let's say if we mock it up with the other hangers, it's gonna fit 2 back. So meaning, so let's say if the hanger sits there, look how far the exhaust will, like, well, how in the exhaust will be. So it's not even like, it's like right there. So I'm gonna have to like put it right here, cut up the hangers and move them more back. So I'm gonna have to mark it and where I should re-weld that thing. It's like, should we go like right there, or I think it's like right there should be good, where it hits the bumper. And Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that and re-weld it. Well, first I'm gonna mark it up. So I already have it mocked up. So yeah, I have the jack stands holding it up. And they look like they work. But they're now what I gotta do is, because I noticed the other one does work too. All I gotta do is just move them back, which it looks like, so that's where I want it. It'll be nice if I could stick it out more, but it's gonna hit the bumper and burn it up. So where it looks like I really want it. So following with the marker, so looks like it's gonna go right here. So it looks like it's gonna go right here. All right, let's get to welding. Now that I have the muffler with me, I'm gonna cut through here. I'm gonna use a grinder, then re-weld the little squiggly lines. But then I'm gonna have to like kind of mock it up as much as I can. Same with this one. So grind that off, grind this one, weld them a little bit more back. And hopefully that'll give me the good clearance. If it's too far back, I'll let the muffler burn the bumper. All right, so let's get to grinding. All right, I got that piece off, but it did damage it a lot. I don't want to say a little because it is a lot. So the reason why I broke it so much is because it was like in a certain angle, so I couldn't like grind in a certain spot. But yeah, we're gonna weld this like right there. All right, let's get to welding this piece. Before I start welding, I want to show you what I'm using. So I was using the titanium, the flux core type of, so I have it in the low setting right now. So that's at 8, and I have the speed at 7, which I don't want the volts too high because it'll actually cook up this whole thing, and then I'll have a bigger hole. So what I usually do is just go for it, slow by slow. I let it cool down, then do it again, keep going. And for this one right now, I'm gonna just tack this one. All right, so it didn't really come out the best because this is really thin. I was trying to put it lower, but that's it. And I just raised up the feeding. I just raised a little bit more, that way like it won't burn the whole thing. So it was like cooking up in there. So I'll like light it up for a little bit and it'll just make a hole instantly. I'm like, oh wow. So I don't know if I should do it even. That's the limit already. So I have it the lowest on the bolts and the feeding on the highest. Okay, so I already mocked it up. My dad told me to put a plate just to make it easier, but there's a lot of beads. I don't like that. And I think if the noise inside got even worse. I think some of the beads got inside. You can hear it. But now for the next one. And my dad gave me a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it. But he said, how come I just don't cut one of these and just put it there? That way I don't have to keep on like using the grinder. So I'm gonna try that. So I don't know which one to cut though. Let's just give it a try with this one right here, since we don't need this muffler anymore. Okay, so I got it like this. Dad's idea. The other part, I think I should weld this thing a little bit more. Yeah, I should weld this one a little bit more. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I already welded a little bit more. Whack welds, they're not the best. I'll give you that, but all right, we'll work with it. I don't know if I should weld load this a little bit more, just preventing leaks. But yeah, this whack welds. I didn't know it was that thin. It's like can thin. I should leave it like that. So we're gonna test fit it now. This is how it's gonna look. I mocked it up as much as I can on the underneath. So I had to do a little Mickey Mouse on it because it was sticking too in. As you can see, that little Mickey Mouse part. So I had to cut it and re-weld it like a little bit to like the back. Same almost with this one. Can't really see it. So I cut it and I just tilted it a little bit. I didn't move it or anything. I just tilted it. But that's how I wanted to fit. It's gonna burn the bumper a little bit, but that's the most I could get it. And now finally, I just need to cut the piping so that the straight pipe is gonna be going like this, and then that curved pipe is gonna be going down. Luckily, the pipe that I got, you could put it in or out. Now we're finally to the part of cutting this. I'm gonna just cut it right here, and finally patching that thing up. So this time I'm gonna just weld it. Since this one is a little bit thicker, I assume it's thicker, just like this one. So let's start cutting and welding. Alright, so that's how it looks clean. There you go. So now we're gonna weld and patch those holes. I'm noticing it's really hard to weld because it's really thin. So it's damn. So every time I like spark it, it just breaks. Like the metal just snaps off. I don't know if it's because it's really thin. Like I don't know what the heck is going on right here. I'm gonna just keep on welding it and see if I'm grind it off. Try to make it smooth as possible too. I'm gonna see if I could try to get to that area right here, just that, and I think probably do a little bit on this side and over here. But I'm gonna keep going at it. Or maybe they left this thing in the water, because you hear this? Can I get what? God! Oh man, this needs some welding work right now. Shit. It's like crunchy. Well, that's the best idea, is just to cover it like that. Hopefully the pipe reaches all the way. You know, let me go check that out. It didn't save the last clip because the phone died, but I mocked that up on the car and it fit perfectly fine. It's not like all the rust that's like in there. I just left it in there. So now I'm gonna get to this welding, this gap. But I already tacked it up. It looks kind of, well, more than tacked it. But I'm gonna weld everything that's around, and then we can mock it up on the car, turn it on, see how it sounds like. But trust me, the welds are gonna look good right here. Even though it's that thick, it's just that this was thin as heck. So, all right, let's get to welding that. I'm not gonna record myself because I gotta let the phone charge a little bit more, but I'll get to it. All right, I'm done with the welds. Let me know what y'all think. I'm pretty happy about it. Actually, that's gonna be a leak right there. I didn't even see that. See the little dot? Look at that. And that little dot right there. So then there's that finger space. That's actually a bead. Can't even get it off. There we go. It's gone. And I keep flipping around, so I'm actually gonna patch that right there. And patch that one over there. Down right there. I'm trying to point at it like that right there. So I'm gonna patch them up, and then we're finally gonna get this thing on. All right, so we already got them mocked up. Like that, we have the bolts on. So I welded everything on. So you know when you turn it on? I'm gonna turn it on right now. Here. I guess you could just record it from here. There you go. Hopefully you can hear it through the mic, because you know the vibrations and all that. It wasn't like ricer loud. It wasn't right. It wasn't. Oh yeah, it's the alternator. That's the alternator, guys. That's the next video. Because I already did the battery.
Gas it?
Yeah. Not too hard though. Wait, do it again?